Experiment to look for a bad mood. We will be doing an experiment about moods. Specifically, we will try to find a bad mood. This is another experiment from Dr. Greg Good's book, The Direct Path. This is an example of a state of mind. We often think we have a state of mind, or that we are in a state of mind. It is natural to think that we have a mind, or maybe even to think that we are a mind. Given these assumptions, it is natural to think that this mind can take on various shades of feeling or mood. But in our detailed examination of our direct experience, are these assumptions warranted? They are worth looking into because they are about what we really are. According to the direct path, we are nothing other than pure awareness, which transcends body, mind, and world. This is radical and important, for if it is true, if we really are awareness in this sense, then we exist even if body, mind, and world do not exist. This in turn means that we cannot be a mind or a body or part of the world. So the entire question of the mind and what we find when investigating it is important. Can we find a mood? And can we find something, namely the mind, that is in a mood? Let's begin with a quick recap of the high points of the direct path. The direct path teaches that our own selves, along with the world, body, and mind, are all one single pure consciousness, beyond space, time, and multiplicity. This consciousness, also called awareness, is often characterized as being, knowledge, and love. This derives from Advaita Vedanta, where it is taught that the ultimate is Sat Chit Ananda, that is, being, knowledge, bliss. In these teachings, this undivided awareness is what we really are, even when it seems like we are something local, something separate, something related to the mind or body. If there are arising thoughts, witnessing awareness is what they appear to. The direct path gives us many pointers, many experiential ways to discover that we and everything else are nothing separate, but rather awareness itself. Today's experiment on finding a bad mood is from the part of the Direct Path book that investigates the mind and its functions. The purpose of this experiment is to deconstruct the assumption that there is a mind present that has states, such as moods. If the mind is present and can take on states, then we often feel the pressure to improve our states. We may even seek a state of enlightenment that we imagine is the best of all possible mind states. Our experiment about finding a bad mood begins to put these assumptions to the test. We take an ultra-close-up look at our direct experience of the so-called state of the bad mood. Does our direct experience verify the presence of such a state? Does our direct experience verify the presence of a mind that has the state? We will see. Now to the experiment. Its purpose is to try to experience a bad mood, at least in memory, and verify whether it actually is a bad mood. We will look to see if our experience verifies the presence of mind that can have a mood or not. As you set up for this experiment, all you need is a comfortable, quiet place to sit. Before we begin, try to think about a bad mood. A bad mood is supposed to be a very palpable and obvious state of mind. You may feel impatient, easily irritated, perhaps quick to anger. You yearn to feel better. You keep thinking of an argument you had at home this morning, or maybe you remember the dismissive and threatening treatment you received from your boss at work. It seems that if any mental state can be found, it would be a bad mood. But if we can't find the state of being in a bad mood, then we won't have to struggle to extricate ourselves from a bad mood the next time it seems to arise. We will be closer to not attaching to a good mood, which will help us no longer identify with the mind. Now we'll begin the experiment. This time, we won't begin with the heart opener, since we're trying to tune into a bad mood. We are still the very same witnessing awareness, but right now we don't want to feel too good or too spacious. We will do the heart opener together after the experiment. There are 5 parts to this experiment, some longer than others. First, if you are already in a bad mood by any chance, then use this mood in your inquiry. If you are not in a bad mood, then try to recall a previous instance of a bad mood. That will be enough for the inquiry. You can use an example from any time in your life. The most important thing is that it seem vivid. Try to see what you saw at the time. Try to feel what you felt. Was there a sour taste in your mouth? Was your stomach upset? What were you thinking about? Did you feel as if you wanted to curl up into a ball and go to sleep? Second, what are the feelings that arise? Are there stories that arise? Are there preferences arising also, according to which you wish to be saved from this mood and changed to be in a better mood? Acknowledge these feelings, stories, and preferences. Let them express themselves. Allow them to be as vivid as they wish to be. Third, do you have a sense of what, if anything, the mood attaches to? Do you have a sense that there is a mind present that may underlie this mood? Does it seem like the mind is serving as a basis or substratum for this mood? I'm not referring to the thoughts about the presence of a mind, but to an intuitive sense or direct experience that verifies the presence of the mind. Do you experience anything like that? Further, do you actually experience the mood and the mind separately, but at the same time? Or is your attention so focused on the feeling of the mood that there is no mind in the picture at the moment? At the moment the mood is felt, does it even seem that there is such a thing as the mind? Or is there no sense of the mind at this time? Fourth, after taking note of what arises during the mood, allow these feelings, stories, and preferences, if any, to subside. Fifth, do you have a sense that, as witnessing awareness, you are still present as open clarity, whether or not thoughts or moods arise? Do you now feel that you have been present in a continuous way throughout? Relax for a few seconds. Since we didn't do the heart opener before the experiment, let's do it now. Here is the heart opener. First, take a deep breath slowly in. Now exhale slowly all the way. Take another deep breath in. Exhale all the way. Now take 3/4 of a deep breath and exhale as you normally would. Second, close your eyes. Notice that there might be sounds, sensations, feelings, and thoughts arising, but that you, the witnessing awareness to which these things are arising, are always already present. Third, notice that you are this clarity. You are present whether there are objects arising or not. If there are objects, you are already here as that which knows the presence of the objects. If there are no objects, you are already here as that which knows the absence of the objects. Regardless of the presence or absence of objects, you are here. Fourth, Notice that you are not an observed object at all, but the open, spacious, brilliant clarity in which these objects arise. You cannot grasp or hold this clarity, for it is the very spaciousness in which grasping arises. Fifth, notice that there are no walls to this clarity, no edges to you. You are borderless. You are not contained by anything. You are limitless. Now let's inquire into what you actually experienced during this experiment. Notice that in step 1, you began by not being in a bad mood. You experienced a time in which the particular feelings associated with this bad mood had not arisen just yet. In step 2, the feelings probably arose and abided for a time. In step 3, the feelings diminished or subsided. Did you directly experience those feelings, stories, and preferences before and after they were on stage? That is, did you experience them when they were not present? Did you experience them to be somewhere other than in awareness? If so, where could that be? How would that work? Think about step 2. When the feelings arose, they expressed themselves, but were they present in a way that you could stand back and point to them? Or did they seem to occupy all of the available space? If this seems to be the case, there seems like no space available to say that the feelings were actually there. Did you notice them entering and leaving, like a pet coming through the kitchen doggy door? It's remarkable that feelings are not like that. We don't experience them being absent and then present and then absent again. We don't catch them in the act of arriving and departing. Still thinking about step 2, let's say that you seem to find an anxious, jittery, angry feeling. Let's look more closely. What are the components of this feeling? Of course, we know there is probably a label called feeling or anger, but besides the label, which is an object in awareness separate from the feeling, just what do you find constitutes the anger? That is, what makes the raw, direct experience one of anger? Fast heartbeat? Fast breathing? Images of you taking revenge on your boss? All these things can be nothing more substantial than objects arising in awareness. As you may have discovered in these direct path experiments, movements and vibrations are not things that actually happen out there in an objective way. In direct experience, they are nothing more than further arisings in awareness, and as such, they are nothing other than awareness itself. Now, think back to step 3, where you looked for any sense of the presence of the mind in addition to the mood. When you now look back and think about being in a bad mood, it's easy to assume that it is the mind that is in a bad mood. But if you take a closer look and recall your experience, did you directly experience a mind that was in a bad mood? Check back again. Did you experience a mind and a bad mood? Were they both present at the same time? If the mind and the mood both exist, then you should be able to experience them both separately and together. But is that really how it went for you? Or is there a single present thought that makes a claim about the past, something like, "My mind was in a bad mood"? It is quite natural for a thought like that to arise, but what can it prove? You are free not to believe this thought. Still thinking about step 3, where you were checking for the presence of the mind and the mood, you may have discovered something. You may have discovered that you, as witnessing awareness, were present throughout the entire experiment and subsequent inquiry. This is because you, as witnessing awareness are always present and never absent. But did you find that the mind was co-present with witnessing awareness? And even now, looking back, does it seem that the mind was present in the same steady, unbroken way as witnessing awareness? If it doesn't seem like the mind was there in a steady way, then this is a powerful experiential pointer to your true identity as awareness and not as a mind. As we usually find out in the direct path experiments, when we look for things against the backdrop of witnessing awareness, which is always present, what we reliably find is only awareness itself. We don't find the objects we had assumed were present. Direct experience verifies only awareness itself, not any objects. And awareness is not an object. Thoughts about it may seem to be objects, but awareness itself is not an object. It is the source and nature of those so-called objects. It can't be held on to because you are at zero distance from it. In fact, you are it. The surprising conclusion to looking for a bad mood is that we really didn't find one. If you do this experiment on any other so-called state of mind, your results will be the same. Whatever state you look for in direct experience, you won't find it. Instead, you'll find awareness. In fact, the only time it makes sense to say that you are in a bad mood is when you look indirectly. If you look as if from some distance apart from that state in question and informally accept the label that may arise, then it can make sense to communicate to others about a mood or a state. But there is great freedom in the fact that statements are not states, and in a profound way, you as awareness are free of mind states. And consider, if the mind cannot have states, then what is it? Do we find it to be anything other than witnessing awareness? The direct path often refers to witnessing awareness as neither personal nor impersonal, but that unbroken clarity that is appeared to, the one light that illumines all. And this is one less reason to believe and feel that we are the mind. We don't even need to stop identifying with the mind. We simply can't find it in the first place. As the kids might say, it's not a thing. This is our experience. What we find that is always present is awareness, our true nature.